Okay, morning, folks. Welcome to the briefing on Friday the 17th. Right. See if you remember from yesterday, the charts showed whole lines of fronts sort of sat out here, and as this cold front has moved in, they've just evaporated, and I think they're just cloud features. There seems to be a sort of cloud feature over the Midlands. That's probably the remnants of a front. But we're now drawing in southerly air for the next day or so. Not very strong. You can see the reasonably wide spacing on the isobars, but it's going to be probably strong enough for us to operate on the cross runway today. Pressure's still quite high out in Europe, so it's keeping any instability at bay. And this front is weakening all the time as it comes across us. So I think even tomorrow, when it just sort of fragments out to the west, there won't be very much rain on it. Taft's not really saying much at all, to be honest. So Farnborough, 185 knots. It's more like about 200, 210, but it's certainly more than 5 knots at the moment on the ground. It's breezy, and they're sort of saying 4,000 meters sort of mist, fog to start off with, but improving as the morning goes on. Farnborough's low lying, so they may well have that problem. It's clear here, and I think it'll stay that way. Visibility won't be great today because of the direction the air's coming from, but there's no forecast of cumulus in here. There's nothing that indicates on that. They're forecasting Q later on. Upper winds 15 to 20 knots across the sort of channel and 15 knots across the country. So I think that is actually about right. So from 200 degrees probably, somewhere around there. So southwesterly flow, which would indicate that probably going on runway 23 would be the sensible option. You can see from the sat pic the sort of direction of the travel really is in this cloud here is southwesterly, and some of these lines here are probably the remnants of the old front. The cold front out here has a little bit of rain on it, but not much, and is dying out as it approaches the high pressure system. So southerly wind, reasonably mild today. Temperatures perhaps not quite as warm as yesterday. I think centre of the country, 21 degrees is what everybody seems to be suggesting, all the different forecast models. We might be slightly lower than that as we're closer to the coast. So 20, I think, down here for us. And dew points, they're already fairly low, around 10s and 11s now. So they'll be around there for most of the day. So you would think a fairly healthy dew point split. The soundings, never great in a southerly. They're sort of showing here, I think by 1 o'clock, with sort of 20 degrees, I think we'll be looking at thermals going to 2,500 feet, and not really much better as the afternoon goes on. That's in our area here. This is actually slightly to the south of us. And looking at the Larkhill sounding, it does so quite a strong inversion. Sat at about 3,500 feet, and sort of plugging some numbers into that with dew points. If we do get any cloud, it'll certainly be stuck under there. And I think at best about 3,000 feet above sea level. So 2.5 at best above Lasham. More indication really that the dew points at down at 10 degrees, it's going to be blue probably. And quite dry air actually in that portion above about sort of 3,500, 4,000 feet. Top Medio seems to be a little bit confused with the data, because initially it's showing lots and lots of fog. This is the forecast for 10 o'clock, and then 11 and 12. It's obviously clear here. I'm hoping it's not going to fog in again. But but it is showing quite a lot of upper cloud and cirrus and bits of cumulus in places and spread out. So I think, yeah, looking at the numbers I can see, I think less chance of cumulus, but if there is, it's certainly going to spread out under that inversion. And that plays out all the way to late afternoon, where they're just showing lots of cirrus above us. And thermal heights from sort of 1 o'clock onwards, as you would expect with a southerly wind, perhaps better to the north of us, but they're showing 600 to 900 meters, so 2,000 feet, maybe a little bit higher, and better out to the northwest. Well, it's been clearer out there, certainly for most of the morning as well. So not a great cross-country day with the southerly wind, and that's their predicted task area. Nothing over us, and bits in the Cotswolds and Cambridgeshire. And it often is better in Cambridgeshire with a southwesterly wind because the air's dried out a little bit and it's a bit warmer. Okay, so not a great soaring forecast, folks. I think local soaring at best today, looking at it, and hopefully we will get flying window fairly quickly today, unlike yesterday where it sort of dragged its heels and didn't clear till midday. Airspace locally, lots going on, and we'll cover that, but nothing really around Lasham particularly. Number 9 is Southampton's hours of operation, just their variation, nothing for us to worry about. They're basically operating all day essentially till 10 o'clock tonight. 7 is a restricted area over the Isle of Wight Festival. 8 is just over Portsmouth. It's a temporary danger area up to 650 feet for UAV operations beyond visual line of sight. 10 and 11 are the Goodwood revival. Not restricted airspace, it's just saying that their air traffic control will be open for longer hours than normal, and from 6 o'clock tonight there'll be an air display. 14 is parachute display at 7 o'clock tonight over Worthy Down, just on the edge of Winchester, which is under the airspace. 15, 16, 17 and 18, right there. 15 is high intensity radio transmissions at Boscombe Down. 16 is clay pigeon shoot. 17 is there's no danger area crossing service, and 18 is just paragliders. Up here we've got more fly pasts. 25, 29, 31 and 27 are all fly pasts, probably Battle of Britain Memorial flight. So apart from that, around us, very, very quiet. But with the revival and aircraft flying in and out, keep a good look out because there will be lots of traffic transiting back and forwards, especially helicopters. Yeah, people do like to be helicoptered in and out of Goodwood. So keep a good look out, folks. As I say, operationally, we're on 2-3 for not only the wind, but we have a jet movement in theory at 11:45, around that time and arrival. Though the flight plan actually says it's leaving Stansted at 10:45, so we shall see what time it gets in. So 2-3 operation suits us today, and I think with the wind it'll be about right. Apart from that, nothing else to note really, folks. I think we can start getting the gliders out fairly shortly, and I will see you out there.